Hi everybody, this is Steve from Restoring Hope Counseling and Coaching. Thank you so much for, again, taking a few minutes to invest in yourself. What I want to talk about today is the law of awareness. The law of awareness is a hugely important law for us to start thinking about growing ourselves intentionally, either in our personal area or in our leadership development. So in our last video, I talked about the law of intentionality. If you did not watch that video, I'm going to ask that you stop this video and watch the law of intentionality first, and then come into this video. It'll make much more sense to you at that point. So the law of awareness essentially says this: in order to get to where you want to go, in order to get to where you want to grow, you have to know where you are. You have to become aware of where you are. So in order to grow, you have to know yourself. First of all, so there's a couple things that you really need to know about yourself. You need to know what your strengths are. You need to know what your weaknesses are. You need to know what your opportunities are. And you need to know where your desires are. So, for example, one of the areas that I'm working on growing into is communicating. And so that's part of the way that I've done that is to record these videos, learning how to communicate more effectively through video technology to communicate effectively to other people. One of the other things that I'm trying to do and learn to be better at is communicate to larger groups of people. So one of the things, one of my strengths in this area is I have the ability to understand some concepts that aren't necessarily complex, but I had the ability to take something and view it from different angles, to think about it from different angles, and to many times teach it more simply than how I think about it. So that's a strength of mine. So I know that's a strength of mine. One of my weaknesses is, as I'm communicating, I've learned to communicate fairly well to groups of about 25 or less. And in those groups of 25 or less, because of the size of the group, I feel like I'm pretty good at connecting to everybody. I can look people in the eye and I can connect to them as I'm communicating. But once you get past about a group of 25, it gets much more difficult. So I know one of my weaknesses that I'm working on improving is learning to communicate to groups of people that are larger than 25. So I'm learning how to do that. And then I'm putting myself in positions where I have to do that and to practice the skills that I've been learning. An opportunity that I have is beginning to schedule what are called lunch and learns with companies around the greater Cincinnati area to teach leadership and personal growth to staff and companies. And so those crowds of people will be, some of them will be less than 25, some will be more 25 than 25 people. So that gives me an opportunity to do that. And my desires is to speak to larger and larger groups of people so that I can teach what I know about personal growth and leadership, but also about mental health and addiction issues to larger groups of people and have a greater influence in that area. And so in order for me to grow in that area, I need to know where I want to get to, meaning I want to get to the place where I'm speaking to larger groups of people to influence them to understand more about leadership, personal growth, and mental health and addiction issues, but also but I also know where I'm at. I know that I'm not at that place yet where I'm going to be competent to speak to that large group of people. So I know where I'm at. I have these opportunities, and that's my strongest desire. So I'm going to ask you to be aware of yourself. What is one area that you want to grow in? Can you envision somewhat how you want to grow in a specific area, whether it be communication or parenting or being a small business owner, whatever it is? Can you envision in your mind where you want to get to? And then can you realistically observe where you're at in that process? This is the law of awareness. Once you become aware of the discrepancy between where you're at and where you want to be, then we can start applying the law of intentionality and future laws to moving you from where you're at to where you want to go. You have to be intentional about it, and you have to be aware of yourself. So hopefully this was helpful to you today. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.